I feel like I'm not stressed. When you're paying, when you're putting out so much money every single month and you're just not seeing the return you want to see, it could be stressful. Every single month, you're like, oh, I got to drop this money. I got to drop this money. I got to drop this money. But you're not seeing that return come in. For the past couple of months, I haven't stressed about any of that.
Hey everybody, James from Seven Figure SMP here. I'm here with my client Brian from Scalp, New England. Brian, thank you for taking the time to hop on today.
No worries, man. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, obviously I just wanted to take this opportunity to kind of talk about what your experience has been like thus far, because obviously you've been crushing it with us ever since we got started, after we got over a couple of different hurdles at the beginning, right? So
yeah.
With that being said, why did you initially kind of opt into our stuff and hop on a call with me in the first place?
So I've worked with a couple of different companies. I was with a company before the one I was with last. They were great, very personable, which was what I like. It's how you are. They were great, but it was a lot of promises. It's just like, oh yeah, you're gonna get this and this and this, but you really don't end up getting what you hoped for. And I like the longevity. If I know the market changes with what's going on in the world, but everything's got to be transparent, and I wasn't really getting that transparency with previous companies. That kind of led me on to the next company, which was horrible. And that was quite a long month, we'll say, even longer than that. And then I just, I'm like, I kind of find someone who is just hungry like myself, puts the time in, and came upon you. Jeez, man, I think we were on the phone or on a call for an hour and a half chatting. That was awesome. I knew that you would take the time. You were going through everything. So that, for me, made me feel comfortable right off the rip of things. So yeah, from that point on, man, it's been all good.
Awesome, man. Obviously, I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what kind of specific problems were you experiencing, or what were you kind of hoping to improve upon or resolve?
I think just not reaching the right people. As a business owner, you're putting this money out, and obviously you want to get a return on it. And when you're not getting that return, my goal is always the money that I'm putting out for marketing is make sure that's covered every single month and you make a profit. That's the goal there. And if you're not making that profit and you're putting your money, for me, I've been doing this for a while. If I didn't do marketing, I still have referrals and people find me on social media, and I do quite a few touch-ups because I've had clients for years and years ago. But when advertising, just reaching the right people nowadays, just they wake up, and when they want to find out something, they either look at their phone and they're searching Scalp micropigmentation, or they're sitting at their computer doing the same thing. So for me, it's super important to get in front of the people that are really looking to do something about their hair loss. And so far working with you guys, you have been lining the people up for me. So it's been definitely a blessing.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. The fact that we had a good initial conversation, right? And to a certain extent, you're an OG in the game, and obviously I got SMP done 4-ish years ago. I got finished up end of 2019, so there was a lot we were able to talk about, right? Because
exactly. Yep.
Both kind of seen some ebbs and flows and things of that nature in the industry as a whole. But ultimately, what do you think made you decide to actually kind of give us a shot and get started with us?
That initial conversation, man, I really can, I kind of go off someone's energy, and I did work with a company, and one of the guys I was with had great energy, and he had great motivation. I just think there were certain things that just weren't there, and that he had to kind of really, in the business and the technical aspect that he had to work on. So, with you, I think, you have that technical experience. Your team is awesome. I always get my messages. I love the little Slack. I always get my messages in the morning. That's amazing. A combination of you guys with my guy Eric booking the clients, it's just smooth. My biggest thing is I like to work. I like to be hands-on. I don't want to be on the phone all day talking to people, selling this, selling that. I'd rather be focusing and working directly right with the clients. This gives me the time to do that, to focus on just working with the clients. You guys make it easy for me, especially, working with CRM. Just everything is just so smooth and easy. But going back from the beginning, I felt that, you had that confidence about you. So for me, I can kind of tell, and I don't know, I'm a confident person in this, from what I do. And when I see someone else that's like that, there's that, that attracts me to their business. I'm like, wow, I can definitely work with this guy. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. And that's how
Awesome.
I felt,
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate that. And obviously the feeling and respect is mutual there.
Thank you.
So how do you feel kind of as a result of, making the choice to do business with us? I mean, obviously I know there was some anxiety there at the beginning because of what you've been through. So,
Yeah.
now that we're doing it together a couple of months, how do you feel?
I feel great. I'm not, you know what? I feel like I'm not stressed. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it like this. Like I said, when you're putting out so much money every single month and you're just not seeing the return you want to see, it could be stressful. Every single month, you're like, oh, I got to drop this money. I got to drop this money. I got to drop this money. But you're not seeing that return come in. For the past couple of months, I haven't stressed about any of that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like you guys are very fair on the price that you offer for your services, and what you offer, I think, is amazing. And it's, in my opinion, from all the people that I worked with, what you offer is more and quality's better. So yeah, I mean, again, you're making my life a lot easier, because here I am at work, and then when I go home, I want to spend time with my family. I don't want to be like, hey, try to phone. So it does make things so much easier in life.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, your experience and, how many testimonials and before and afters and things of that nature that you have, obviously, lends itself to your credibility, right? So that is always good for us to have that kind of material to work with when we're kind of running your ads and creating your landing pages and things of that nature.
Right.
So, we obviously have been greatly appreciative of, having the opportunity to work with you as well. Is there anything specific that you are getting from the service in terms of results, or maybe unexpected surprises that you didn't even kind of anticipate going into it?
Yeah, I feel like too, like another great thing, and it's funny because, I was telling my wife this too, it just, you have so much knowledge in a lot of other things too. So you're willing to help people out too. Like, I mean, with the whole bank thing that you said.
The cash flow management. Yeah.
Dude, that is like the best thing ever. It's like the best thing ever. It just, again, that's another tool that makes my life easier. My life is crazy as it is. So, having that simplicity is like key for me. Like, I get up in the morning and I'm like, boom, I know what I got going on during the day.
Yeah.
Because,
No,
and I have,
absolutely.
And
I've had a couple people take me up on that. There's a couple people a couple clinics that I feel like should implement it, but haven't yet. Right. So, the fact that you kind of took me up on that and implemented it right out of the way just kind of goes to show that, when you see something that's actionable, that you take action on it,
Oh, hell yeah. I saw that. I was like, I looked it over. I watched that video that you sent me, and I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like things like that, like you just saved me a ton of time. Just like, I can just go on my phone and boom, 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 move my money where I need to move it, and I'm good. I know what I got from my operating costs. So stuff like that is huge. And for me, again, it makes my life easier. So, not only are you bringing me clients, you're coaching me basically and helping me with other things that you have and to make my clinic run smoother. So that's to me, that's priceless, basically. I mean, when you're making like someone's life easier in all aspects, that's priceless.
Sneaky side benefit that I get is when it's time for you to ramp up your marketing budget, you know exactly how much you got, right? Because you're able to just look at your operating expenses and say, okay, it's time to ramp this thing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I plan on doing that, man. I told you, like, I'm just going a couple months doing, what we're doing now, and it's working. And I just kind of wanted to see the consistency. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And, you know, knowing, okay, it's consistent. I mean, I know it's not, and this is one thing that I feel like a lot of people, you know, when they start working with an advertising company, I get it, especially in certain areas of the country, it may be harder to pull in clients. We have demographics as far as, like what part of the country you live in, and, you know, money and this and that. So I know it's not always going to be super consistent with clients. I know that, but consistency as far as within numbers, a couple numbers, you know what I'm saying, that monthly bringing in clients to me is important, because then it shows me that, you know, you guys are doing what you're supposed to do with hitting the right people and getting in front of those people. And then, you know, so that, again, bringing the people in. So yeah, man, it's just, again, it goes back to just simplifying everything. And I feel like when you have someone that can handle that aspect, that knows what they're doing, and the simple fact that you have the procedure done as well makes it, you know, even better. So.
Yeah. I mean, that is a little bit of a cheat code for me, right? I'm able to
Yep.
get into the psyche of the people that we're generating, especially on the male side. I mean, obviously there's a different side of it there, you know, with female and density and things of that nature.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You know, to a certain extent, I can relate regardless, right? Because those things are, you know, they're the way that it affects, obviously, your self-confidence and things of that nature. It varies, obviously, right? I probably was like a little bit less embarrassed about it than a lot of the other clients that you know, my guys here in New Jersey have kind of told me about. You know, some of them are like super, you know what I mean? But for me, it was like, I kind of was one of those guys who probably didn't even realize how bad his hair loss was at the time. You know what I mean? When I got it done.
Yep.
But then I started to see like pictures of myself from different angles, and I'm like, oh shit, like, you know, that's getting a little crazy looking there. And I was kind of like keeping it at like a 2 or a 1.5, which doesn't do anything for you, because obviously it's just, you know what I mean? It's kind of like highlighting how bad it is, you know? And then, you know, when I finally got it done, man, I don't know, I just been
game changer. It's a game changer. And this is, and the thing is too, is the great thing, and the great thing that you guys are doing too, and I told you this from the beginning, and you are doing it. You are targeting, you know, females as well, and you're making it so that, because a lot of females don't even realize that this even exists, and then when they see it, they're like, wait a minute, what is this? You know, so the fact that, you know, I bring in quite a few female clients is great, because, you know, when I first started out, I'd say like the first 4 or 5 years that I was doing this, most of my clients were all male, unless I'm doing like a permanent makeup procedure, you know, like lips or eyeliner or brows or whatever. But actual hair loss stuff, over the past, I'd say 2-3 years, females are starting to notice it more. And I saw that, oh, this really needs to be put out there. And I remember telling you that from the beginning. I really want to make sure not only that we target guys, but we target females, just to let them know that this does exist, you know, and is a great option.
Absolutely, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's a big part of the market as a whole.
Yep.
I hope you don't mind. I'm just sharing a quick look at your dashboard here.
No worries.
I'm not going to go over any personal information of any of your leads or anything like that. But obviously, you know, we have 103 opportunities. We actually were able to even convert some of your old opportunities, Brian. So obviously not all of these are ones that we generated necessarily, right? Some of the ones that you had from previous agencies and stuff like that, we were able to convert a couple of those. Obviously, you have a bunch of previous clients in here as well. But I mean, you know, we got a good amount coming from Google here. It looks like we actually were able to convert 16 from Google so far, which is awesome, right? So, and we still have 27 that are open, 3 that are marked as lost. So, really, really good job. I mean, between you, obviously,
Mhm.
the setters and the automation and the ads and the
Right.
closer. Closing, over 30%, obviously, it's just, that's really good, right? Really, really good numbers.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
and then,
Yep.
at the end of the day, once we start doing, retargeting and things of that nature of those leads that didn't convert initially, that's where we're going to really be able to kind of ramp it up even more, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's definitely been the type of partnership that we are definitely looking for, right?
Yep.
And
Hmm.
obviously, to varying degrees, I mean, this is kind of what we're able to do across the board. Now, obviously, when somebody hasn't advertised previously or doesn't have as much experience, they don't necessarily hit the ground running as much as you have, right?
Right. Right.
Even with us managing their ads, but we're still able to have them be very profitable.
Right. Right.
With that being said, what would you say to someone who's kind of considering doing business with us and maybe they're on the fence or whatever the case may be?
Well, definitely, like you were just mentioning, it is hard for someone who's new and doesn't have that experience or doesn't have, the portfolio. Get some clients in there, do some like of your own organic advertising, get it out there, and then right when you have that, right when you're ready to do it, go with you guys. Because I mean, proof is there. I mean, I don't get on these videos and I've never done a video like this for someone. And I had 2 companies ask me to do videos, and I just kind of pushed it off because I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to get on here and be like, oh yeah, hey, no. And I'm glad that I didn't do those videos. But in this industry, you need a good marketing team. You need it. I mean, again, I've been doing this for a long time. I do get referrals and I do have touch-ups consistently. However, that's because I've been doing it for so long. But if you're a company that just, started out or been working, you've had your clinic going for maybe 2-3 years or whatnot, and you're not using a marketing company, I mean, you guys got to go with these guys because you can't do it by yourself and focus on the work. You want to create awesome work. You want to create work that people, looking at them like, that is not pigment. That no way that's pigment. The only way you're going to do that is if you can focus on artistry of what you are doing and you have a good marketing team that can focus on getting it out there to people. Only way to do it.
100%. Yeah, I mean, the art is obviously the part that speaks for itself, that creates that, word of mouth and referral and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
the science, right? So you have the art of scalp micropigmentation and then the science of scalp micropigmentation in terms of, setting up, and also, the marketing and sales aspect and cash flow management and things of that nature. That's the science aspect of scalp micropigmentation.
Uh-huh.
And really, the
Right.
most successful clinics are going to have both of those things working in harmony with each other, right? And that's really kind of what excites
Correct.
me about our partnership, is that's kind of what we have going on right now. Thank you
Right.
for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're a busy man. Thank you for taking the time
No
to
worries.
hop on.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to a long, long time to come of continuing to crush it together.
Oh yeah.